I am not somebody who was dropped from heaven at some point and then I started to preach. I am a man who was born among men. And I lived a life that is like the life of every man. There was nothing special about me. But one day, God called me by His grace. And He revealed to me what He said was my assignment.
The birth of the children of God requires an assignment to be in operation. For an assignment to be functional, it requires a servant.
I was taken out of the body and the Lord appeared to me and I saw Him. It was not on the earth, it was somewhere.
On the 9th of December 2012 in the morning, Apostle T.F. Chiwenga was called and commissioned.
He said, you shall preach about Jesus because the whole Bible is written about Jesus. Your assignment is to preach the revelation of Jesus Christ. Your assignment is to preach Jesus as it is revealed to you. When God gave me this assignment, which is called Jesus Revelation Ministries, self-explanatory as it is, He planted a seed on planet Earth.
The undiluted gospel of Christ was committed to His trust. Consequently, a mother to numerous children was born.
The assignment then started by my preaching at First Street, Pagomba.
There were times when he would just preach to 5 people. Sometimes there would be 10 people. Apostle Chiwenga never gave up. Evangelist Chiwenga at that time, he did not give up. He continued to preach.
You should never take opinions concerning the work, the assignment. Don't get opinions from men concerning this assignment.
The way he was interpreting the verses was new, and this pricked people, and people wanted to hear. But then, it was not just the pricking of the hearts that was happening. Mashoko avo and the way he was presenting the Bible, vakatanga kushokosha the status quo that was then. And people started paying attention to what he was saying.
We never collected tithe from day number 1. Chegumichi yakaparidzwa muna 2014 handiti, but vhangeri yanga yatanga kuparidzwa muna 2013. Kubva 2013 kusvika 2014 patakanga tisina kuparidza chegumichi, takanga tichitozviziva kuti hachifaniri kubviswa. Hatina kumbobvira takachitora. Hatina kumbozoti takambobvisa chegumi asi takazoona kuti hachifaniri kutorwa patamira, which was fine anyway, because any time is right time to make corrections. But those are fundamental aspects of the gospel. That's why we have an apostolic assignment. It safeguards the tenets of our faith, even from the outset.
Pagomba would be every day, except for Sundays. Every day after work, we would be Pagomba. So when he was preaching, he was not afraid, and still he is not afraid to say kuti vana magaya ava vakomana vakauya kuzotsvaka mari paHarare. So on this day, mama sermons anga pararira like chegumichi. That sermon yakabata bata vanhu vakawanda stereki. And I would like to believe kuti back then most congregates questioned kuchegumi mumachechi avo. So one of those people that were pricked was one wekwamagaya. So on this very particular day, tiri Pagomba, kwakauya makombi 2 evanhu vekwamagaya. And they were coming to fight. Vakatenderedza gomba rese. And you know, vanhu vanenge vauya kuzotsvaka ropa, vanhu vari kuuya kuti tiri kuenda kufight. That was the atmosphere. Because of the way that he was preaching, people started recording him.
Chinhu chakatanga kushandiswa kurekodha masemoni yanga iri phone N8 Nokia.
And pese pavanga vari kupreacha apapa, He didn't have the microphone, neither did he have the PA system. It was just his voice. He had to rely on his voice.
Evangelism team yanga tinayo takafamba nayo pasina kana one abhabhatidzwa, asi takazobhabhatidzwa third week yaJanuary 2014. Takabhabhatidzwa tiri 6. Pa6 vavo vanga varipo vachirimo muushumiri kwasara vaviri.
Gomba was outreach in its nature, but then we had the first outreach in Marondera.
Takaenda tiri 4. Few yakaenda kumarondera yanga itori yekudzimira.
People came, and towards the end, some people zvidhakwa vakatanga kuuya, and they became violent.
Ndandiriripo ndiri Asha ndichibata umwe munhu anga aripo achida kuita nharo kuti hapana zvamukutaura, ibva ipapo.
So we had to quickly dash into the car and drive off.
He said they are going to hate you. They are going to hate you for this message, but I will be with you all the way.
The first service after the transformation of the evangelism team into now Jesus Revelation Ministries. The first service, we held it also in Glenora, but this time Apostle had moved from the core house. He was now staying at another house. And that is where we held our first service as Jesus Revelation Ministries before moving to Grace Ablaze. And another thing also is, per the core house that Apostle was staying, vakazo accumulate my bills, rent, vachitadza kubhadhara rent, and then he had to sell his car in order to settle those bills.
It was not easy kureza $100 chego kwairema, 100 US yairema kureza nguva iyoyo, but shoko ririmo, vanhu vachinyanza shoko ririmo, but mari hapana.
In 2014, there was a prayer retreat that took place in Mazoe, and a prophecy was given.
We also had a prophecy in which we were told that we shall lose a good number of useful members because their party is over. That was the reason why we were going to lose useful members in the ministry. Their party is over. We have lost quite a number of these people. And true to the prophecy, people, they begged Apostle to pray for them that they may not be shaken out. But, well, there is nothing that Apostle could do to save it, because God had determined that the party of these people, the party they were to play in the ministry, was over.
The word was preached, and a prophecy about Zimbabwe was given. Those days, very few people were aware of the existence of the ministry, and people would despise it. Sometimes services would be conducted on an open space without any roof. Sometimes services would take place at the apostle's house.
Kuzomuva kuenda ku Grace Ablaze, it's because the numbers were now increasing and Pamba was no longer conducive. So we then had to move to Grace Ablaze, and we then had to make that arrangement that Grace Ablaze, they do their service in the morning, and Jesus Revelation Ministries would then do its service in the afternoon. And then, because Grace Ablaze kwanga kusiri also conducive, we had to find our own place. So that very first service, pa structure ye Jesus Revelation, pakanga pasiri pa structure, pa pasina structure, kwaipisa, and takangotora macheya nemasaga ekuwaridza, asi makanga mutori muvhu, ivhu rinenge jecha riya rekuglenora. That was the place. And the pulpit was pushing tray ya Apostle.
It appeared as if we were going nowhere, looking with a carnal eye. But upon hearing the depth of the message that was preached under those circumstances, you would tell that this assignment is not man-made.
With the passage of time, there was a woe wisher, akangouya, We didn't know him. He didn't attend church nesu, and he never attended church nesu. Akatibetsera with the materials, mapranga, to just put a structure, and then ndovakwaisiwa plastic right round. Masaga were a luxury. We couldn't afford masaga. They were a bit expensive. So akangari ma plastic a black. And I remember time yakauya vanhu, you know, kuti mabva kunamatira pamhene your previous service. Makunamatira. The fact that pakanga pava nemumvuri. People were so happy.
Shed yatakati chishansa iyaye takaivakirwa nemunhu kumethodist akangoya akaivaka ega nemari yake ikamukostera more than $3,000. Hatina matena yemunhu iye.
The way the prisoner and the servant of God would preach, the way the scriptures were given and interpreted, the way Old Testament and New Testament scriptures are reconciled was enough evidence that indeed this assignment came from God and was set to affect and change many lives. Gomba used to take place from Monday to Saturday, and we would receive a minimum of 8 sermons. A lot of knowledge was dispensed in a very short space of time. Due to the growth of the word, the ministry started to welcome a number of believers, and the Holy Spirit instructed us to move from Glenora to the commonly known number 88. But by then, we were using the second floor. When we seemed to be settled at number 88, the premises changed ownership, and this resulted for us to resort back to our Glenora structure. Despite all these changes and movements, the gospel continued to wax great. Then the opportunity was opened to reconsider going back to number 88, and we then returned to this venue, but occupying the 4th floor. The venue became small and we resorted to occupy the 3rd floor, and eventually another floor at number 90 premises.
According to Philip, Moses in the law and all the prophets, they were writing of Jesus. Vakaona Jesu. Parikunzi pepe, receive your money pepe. Philip na Natha, vaiona Jesu.
Outreaches have also been done in different parts of Zimbabwe, not only limited to Veke, Mutare.
Muna August 2015 wakari takazoita outreach yatakaenda kwa Mutare. Takaparidza pa Polytechnic on a Friday. Saturday yacho ndo pataenda pa Mikos Park. Vangere yaparidzwa yatopera. Yaiparidzirwa pa Mikos Park ipapo padhuze netende ya Makandiwa. Tatopedza ndo pakatanga kunzi nevanhu vekwaMakandiwa muri kutuka baba wedu. Tikabva rumwe ipapo tikazonosangana kuzuva safe station takona kuti tese takanga tiripo here nekuti takanga tatobva ipapo takutandaniswa nekutandanisana nevanhu vekwaMakandiwa.
Masvingo, Kwekwe, Kadoma.
Takaparidza muKadoma. Then after Kadoma taenda muKwekwe. Tichingoti tanga kuparidza maybe for kana takasvika 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Vakomana vakanga varipo vanenge vechikorokoza. This time vakanga vasingachataure zvekuti muri kutuka baba vami as in ma church, but they were on the political side. Saka vakangomira kuti kusvibe. Tiri pakati pekuparidzwa ipapo pakatanga kukandwa matombo mukati. Vanhu vakatiza, tikatiza rumwe futi kuKwekwe. Hatina kutozorara kuKwekwe nekuti taifanira kuparidza zvakare the following day, asi takatozodzoka tikazotangidza zvakare rwendo rwedu nekuti taifanira kupfuurira kuenda kuGweru neBulawayo. Kubindura chakatoda kutotanga kutonetsa inyaya yekutopuwa venue yacho. Tichida kuti tiise maspika edu kwakatanga kunzi kuri kudiwa mapepa akawanda zviya zvekungoti vakanga vasingadi kuti tiparidze ipapo. Asi nekuda kwekuti shoko rashe harina unorivhiringa takazopedzisira taparidza. After that makandiwa again pastor wake anonzi Savanhu vakauya zvakare kuzotirwisa kubindura. Tikabva tiri rumwe zvakare kusvika takangodzoka, asi tichingotenda Mwari kuti mukuitika kwaizvozvo zvose hakuna waikuvara, taingodzoka zvakanaka, asi tasangana nenjodzi dzekurwiswa nevanhu vekwamakandiwa. Kumarondera kwanga kuchiparidzwa week rese, but Thursday manheru iwayo kuchiparidzwa takazongwerekana tatoona takombwa again. Tanga tiri padhuze nezvivakwa zvamakandiwa, saka ndokuzonohaya vanhu. Ameno anonzi Simon wekumarondera murefu ndiye anga achinzi ndomonya racho, asi nda kutenda Mwari kuti kuvhunduka kwakaitika kushoma ipapo, takaramba tiri panzvimbo. Asi regai ndingoti hapazoshayikwi vanotya, vanotiza varipo vakatizawo. Ipapo pakarohwa dzimwe hama dzedu, kurohwa chaiko.
In 2015, 2016, and 2017, we went back to Mazoe for retreat. Quite a number of sermons were preached there. We also had a retreat in 2018 and 2019 at Adelaide Acres in Harare, and the numbers were increasing. Believers kept coming until we went into lockdown in 2020. Many believers were saved through the word. A lot of things happened throughout the course of the ministry since its inception up to date. Ministers were added to the faith, and stewards were also added to the faith.
Said, I'm going to give you people that you are going to work with. But he said, don't look for them. Don't look for anyone. I'll bring them.
Departments were added to the ministry. The youth department, the ladies department, and the men's fellowship. We started to see fellowship amongst brethren. The praise team came on board and improvements were seen in that department. Profound songs were sung, which were in line with the doctrine of Christ. The assignment started to yield results, some of which we still see up to this day. Outreaches outside Zimbabwe commenced, and South Africa was the first country to be visited. Then later Mozambique, Botswana, Namibia, and Indonesia were reached out. Live streaming of services have played a major role in the birth of assemblies in the United States of America, Canada, the United Arab Emirates, India, China, Australia, Europe, South Africa, and other Southern African countries. Zimbabwe is not spared from the spreading of the gospel through live streaming, though the greater part of the believers are products of the street preaching popularly known as Gomba outreach. We are highly humbled when we look at the assignment. We celebrate as it is the only way we can appreciate what God has done for us. We are thanking God for loving us with such a great love of giving this apostolic assignment to us through his prisoner and servant, Apostle T.F. Chiwenga. We thank him for the gift of an apostle. To have an apostle amongst us is a gift, because for the gospel to be aligned and for the church to progress in a manner that it should, we always need an apostle.
What we are celebrating here is not the starting of a church that is called Jesus Revelation Ministries. No, we are celebrating the starting of an assignment which is a constituent of the church. Apostle Chiwenga is a servant in the church that Jesus founded 2,000 years ago.